The Brewery Igniter concept came from a couple people in our office discussing the reasons why one of the breweries that we recently leased space to went out of business. The reason that they weren't able to actually open their doors was because they ran out of capital. It takes a lot of money to open a brewery. You have your equipment costs, you have your construction costs, and then you have any other overhead just trying to keep the lights on in the meantime. So we kind of came to the idea of, well, why can't we just build it ourselves? We build things all the time. Let's build a brewery.
Most people that start businesses aren't construction managers. We do that every day, so we bring that expertise in terms of getting space built on schedule, on budget, and handling unknown conditions that may come up during the normal construction process. So that's a big elimination of risk for them. So in terms of the risk profile of a business, of a startup business, that brings it way down where the capital outlay is less and they can go straight into generating revenue versus a big delay from the time that they sign a lease and occupy space versus the time they sell their first pint of beer.
With Brewery Igniter, we're trying to be a resource in the craft brewer industry. We're hoping that we can provide a product that people are able to utilize in lieu of getting as much capital funding, trying to get investors involved. And so we're hoping that we can help more home brewers, more startup breweries get their foot in the door and start making beer quicker than they normally would if they went the traditional route.
Pure Project was originally looking to open a craft brewery in Costa Rica. Found out the infrastructure wasn't there to really implement what they wanted to do. Heard through word of mouth about Brewery Igniter as an option for them in terms of a resource, and it fit perfectly for them. Turnkey, in other words, space is built out, has the equipment in place. All they had to come in was drop in their brand, which they've done, and also the raw materials to produce their product and also get their licensing, which is really what they did. Originally talked to Pure Project in August. I believe we had a signed lease in September, and in December they obtained their ABC licensing. So if you can look at that time frame, 4 months from signing a lease to producing product. So I think the concept was proven with their success.
If we didn't have the Brewery Igniter program, I'm not sure we would be opening a brewery right now, to be honest with you. Because it allows you to get into the game with less upfront capital. Now you still obviously have to have a good amount of capital, and I'm not saying that you can go into it without having a pro forma or have run your numbers, but it definitely does allow you to reduce costs on the front end, which is great, and then kind of roll your profits back into your next move or wherever that may be. So for us, to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if we would have a brewery right now if it wasn't for the Igniter project.
Our whole goal here at HG Fenton is to help businesses and people succeed, and I really believe that we're doing that through the Brewery Igniter.